With us now from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Governor Ed Rendell, and here in our studio, Wayne LaPierre, Executive Vice President of the National Rifle Association. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Governor, let me start with you. You have this situation outside of Pittsburgh where a man is holed up in his house. Police come to respond to a domestic disturbance call, and 3 police officers end up dead. The man in question was using an assault weapon, which he attained by using legal means and went through a check. Do you believe that crime would not have happened had he not had that weapon?
No, I think the crime itself would have happened, Harry, but I think one officer at least would still be alive. And remember, the AK-47 jammed when he was putting out an incredible amount of firepower against police arriving on the scene. It jammed. Had it not jammed, we could have lost a whole lot more than 3 police officers on that day. There's absolutely no reason under the sun, no rational reason that we should allow people to legally possess these type of semi-automatic assault weapons. They're made for one purpose. They're not used in a duck blind for hunting. They're not used in the Olympics for target shooting. They're used to kill and maim people, and most often it's police officers.
Do you believe the assault weapons ban should be reinstated?
Absolutely.
Do you think there's political will in this country? You just heard David Axelrod. You heard Dianne Feinstein say last week on 60 Minutes, it's not going to happen.
Well, I think, first of all, I agree with the president's decision right now with the economy being as challenged as it is, with health care on the table. This is not the time to bring this issue up. But I think it has to be brought up in the near future because every police organization in this country supports, virtually everyone supports banning assault weapons. You know, we all pay homage to police. We have these days in Washington. May 15th is a day to remember the policemen who died in the line of duty. We all give homage to the police, and yet we don't listen to them on this basic issue. Since the assault ban has been lifted, Harry, 40 American police officers have either been killed or seriously wounded with assault weapons.
All right, Wayne LaPierre, are the cops wrong?
The rank and file cops know this is a totally phony issue, and that's why Congress doesn't want to deal with it again. You know, the governor sits up there in Philadelphia. Let me tell you the reality of the crime problem in this country. The former U.S. attorney said there's simply no risk of a felon in Philadelphia putting a gun in his pocket and walking out on the street. The head of the FOP up there said the problem in Philadelphia is the revolving door criminal justice system lets the most prolific and violent criminals back on the street again and again. The chief of detectives of the Philadelphia Police Department has recently said there's no reason to talk about gun control. They don't enforce any of the gun laws they already have. He talks about no consequences.
So you think the assault weapons ban is just a boogeyman?
I think it is a totally phony issue. It was enacted, and the governor's doing it again today, on the basis of saying these were machine guns. That's a lie. They were rapid fire. That's a lie. They made bigger holes. That's a lie. They were more powerful. That's a lie. It was lie after lie after lie. Congress found it out. That's why they let it expire. And lies that are found out don't get reenacted.
Here's the majority of Americans support the assault weapons ban, and here's what a lot of people think. And one of the members of your own board has said, well, this whole thing about going after assault weapons is just a way for them to take away our rights to carry shotguns. Is that what people in the NRA really believe?
Harry, let me tell you, there is no functional difference at all between any of these so-called assault weapons the media talks about. Assault weapons are machine guns. They're fully automatic. They spray fire. They're rapid fire. That's what our soldiers use. These guns we're talking about that the governor wants to ban are functionally no different than any other gun. The performance characteristics are exactly the same.
Okay.
There's no difference.
Governor?
That's just unbelievably untrue. That's unbelievably untrue. The assault weapons that are used, that are sold in sporting goods stores now because the ban has been lifted, they put out a tremendously high amount of fire. And remember, the ban not only banned these assault weapons, it banned large capacity ammunition clips. Now, I'd like Wayne to explain to the American people why anybody should have the right to have an ammunition clip that has more than 10 bullets in it at one time.
Go ahead.
What use is that made for, Wayne?
Governor,
who
you know
uses that?
there is absolutely no difference between two 10-round magazines and three of another. I mean, and you just said something. You just said something completely untrue.
It's a big difference because someone has to change.
I want you to go
put in
I want you to go to the range with me. And let's get ballistics experts. And CNN has footage on this where they went to the range with police officers and they showed there's not a dime's worth of difference between the guns you want to ban and you don't want to ban. You're going to ban these semi-autos, and then it's going to
See,
and then it's going to be pump shotguns.
that's the excuse
and
all
that's
the time.
Truth, and you
Harry,
know it.
they use that excuse all the time. Everybody knows that every one of our amendments have limitations to it. You can't cry fire in a crowded movie
Governor,
theater.
hang on one second. Let me,
free
Mr.
speech.
LaPierre, let me ask you this: do the people in the NRA, do the rank and file really believe the President of the United States is interested in basically overturning the Second Amendment?
You know what they're trying to do right now? They're trying to piggyback this whole phony issue on the back of a tragedy in Mexico. I challenge the President of the United States and the media to prove that 90% of the guns used by the drug cartels are being smuggled.
It may not be 90%. That certainly has been put in question. But there's certainly plenty of these guns are coming across the board.
You know, the only people that have ever put up their hand in the air and testified under oath on this is BATF 2 weeks ago in Congress. And let me tell you what they said. I'm not sure where those institutes get these numbers. The investigations that we have,
number, right.
Exactly, in the
nobody is
2000
claiming the 90% number.
And that we see for firearm seizures flowing across the border don't show us showing individuals taking thousands of guns a day flowing into Mexico. But the other thing, if there's one gun, it's already illegal. ICE, the customs people, enforcement people, were asking Congress, do you need more law?
Right.
They said, no, we just need to enforce what we have.
Let me go back to the governor, because the thing that the NRA has said repeatedly and was just said again this morning is, why aren't the laws that are on the books enforced already? And that would alleviate most of the problem.
Well, first of all, number one, I agree with Wayne that we need to enforce existing laws better. But in Pennsylvania, we've gone in over a decade, we've increased our prison population in our state prisons by over 15,000 people. We are enforcing the laws. We're putting bad and difficult and dangerous people who use firearms to commit crimes in jail. When I was district attorney, we enacted the first mandatory minimum sentence for people who use guns to commit crimes. We just enacted in Pennsylvania a 20-year mandatory minimum sentence for anybody who fires a gun at a police officer. But that is, and I agree, we should enforce our existing laws better. And in fact, as Wayne will admit, he and I and Charlton Heston, we combined on a tougher procedure in Philadelphia. But having said that,
Quickly.
let's go back to the original point. What blessed use is there for one of these assault weapons? What American needs an assault weapon to protect themselves
Go ahead, Mr.
or to shoot targets?
Go ahead.
It's not an assault weapon. It's no different than any
an
other
assault
gun.
weapon.
But you know what happened in Philadelphia, Governor? When the cameras went away, you went away. But I'll tell you what we ought to do this morning. Let's agree on this. Every American city, let's put Project Exile. Every time a violent felon, drug dealer, gang member touches a gun, let's prosecute him.
I agree
and
with
let's
that.
go to President Obama and say, look, you've got 100 U.S. attorneys. Let's have them do 10 additional prosecutions a month, each one of them. No, better than that, let's do 20.
Harry, let's make a deal right here.
Yeah.
I agree with Wayne. We'll do that. And Philadelphia used it and used it very successfully. But also, Wayne, let's you and I agree that the Congress can pass a law saying that individuals can only purchase one handgun a month. That's 12 a year.
And
who in their God's name needs more than 12 handguns?
You know, there you go again. Like criminals are standing around going, only one, only one. Don't you get it? They're criminals. They violate all your gun laws.
Criminals get their
That's
guns
why we
from
have to
people
take
who
them
buy
off the
guns.
street.
Criminals get their guns from people who buy guns legally. Straw purchasing is the #1 problem for crime guns.
And it's
in this
illegal, and let's enforce the law.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. Governor Ed Rendell, thank you for your time this morning. Mr. LaPierre, do appreciate it, sir.